Oh, we encountered an error. No, we're live. All right, we are live. All right, here we go. Urbana pregame show with Eddie, Brad, and Brittany. Woo! All right.
All right, done with the awkward pause. I want to do away with that. Y'all, welcome to the pregame show. This is where we come and just talk to you right before the main session. So we got a special treat for y'all. We are in the realm of the prayer room. So I'm not going to say realm of prayer because prayer is going on everywhere, but this is where the prayer rooms are. And so I have some special guests. So why don't y'all introduce yourself?
You start.
Okay. Well, hi, I'm Tia. I am from the Blue Ridge region. I'm on staff at Elon University in North Carolina.
Great. And I'm Peter. I'm in Lakes and Plains, and I'm on staff at the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
All right. Well, TMM Fisher says hi, Peter. Someone, one of your fans are watching.
All right. So we actually asked them to take us on a walking tour of the prayer room. And look, we want to do this for y'all. So as we go, if some of y'all actually have prayer requests, so we know that some of y'all are on site, some of y'all are Urbana 15 on site guests, some of y'all are at home. So if y'all have prayer requests, put them in. Andy will tell us, and we'll write them down, and we'll actually try to pray for you after. So if y'all ready, man, run us the full gamut of the prayer room.
Yeah, so we actually have sort of a system of prayer rooms set up. So rooms 130, 131, and 132. So most students, when they want prayer or they want like space to pray, they will enter in room 130. And so room 130 is set up with 6 prayer stations. And room 131 is set up specifically like if you want prayer ministry, so if you want to sit down with someone and have someone like facilitate a conversation between you and Jesus, you would wait in room 131 and then you would be taken into room 132. So let's give you guys a tour of our prayer stations. You get a feel of like what it looks like. So as students enter in, it's supposed to be kind of like quiet, but also like warm to set the stage. So the hope here is that students get to like interact with the Lord through various prayer prompts and prayer stations, hopefully prompting them to go get prayer ministry. So this is our confession station. So lots of students and people from around the world who are coming to Urbana are wrestling with things that they need to like confess to the Lord. So that could be patterns of sin or just perhaps even like lies that they are believing. And so what you can do is you come and you write the thing that you want to confess on a piece of paper, and then you put it in these like jars of water and watch them dissolve. So it's like all of our prayer stations have creative responses with them. So this is the forgiveness station. So the hope here is that you will like read the prompts and then look at scriptures about forgiveness, and then like write a letter to someone that you need to forgive. Awesome. So you actually like keep this letter, so like you remember like kind of like what the Lord did here. Also just this physical reminder of like the forgiveness and like living life the way Jesus called us to. This is one of my favorite stations. This is the identity station. So lots of students are showing up questions about like, who am I? What is true about me? What are things that I believe about me that aren't true? And so you can come and you can like you write a lie that you believe about yourself, and you like paste it on the post-it board, and then write something that is true about yourself. And so there's a mirror that you can like look at yourself in, which people actually find pretty difficult if they're believing lies about themselves. So the hope is that they leave those lies here and don't take them with them. And then this is the fear station, and especially like at this point in history, like there just feels like a lot of things to be afraid of, and so the idea is that they would ask God, like, what am I afraid of? What are things that are holding me back from being deeper in relationship with you? And like I want to give those things to you. I want you to take them, and I actually want you to replace them. And then finally, after we move through like confession and identity and like all the hard stuff, then we have the invitation station. And the reality is that Jesus is always inviting us into something. And so hopefully at Urbana, people are like hearing invitations from the Lord and responding to them. So the invitation station is broken up into 3 categories. So we believe that Jesus invites us typically deeper into intimacy with him, deeper into community, and deeper into mission. And so there are questions up here to prompt people to like think of ways that the Lord could be inviting them into mission or community or like intimacy with Him. We also like state that like the Lord might be inviting you into something that's not up here, right? But just to give students a feel. And also, this is a fun station. This is the current event station. So what you have up here are different pictures that kind of tell the story of things that have been happening this year. So we have like the Black Lives Matter movement, Black on Campus, the refugee crisis, different things of that nature. And so what is really cool about Urbana this year is like we are addressing like what is happening in the world, and there's a lot happening in the world right now specifically. And so we essentially want students to like identify that these things are happening, confess any fear that they have surrounding these things happening, lament over the terrible things happening, seek forgiveness, ask for forgiveness, and then like finally like, accept the invitation. So the invitation could be, would you commit to praying for these things and praying for God's people and people around the world? Or like, are there resources that you can give? And so we want people to interact with the station in hopes that they will like bounce off of what has been happening in like their sessions, the seminars that they've been going to, their Bible studies, and the things coming up.
Tia, if I can interrupt,
Yeah.
when somebody comes in, so do they interact with these stations by themselves? Is
Yes.
there somebody waiting to come and help them through them?
So there is like a host that's at the door when they come in and kind of like explains what the stations are, and like so this is like a very fluid space. So you can come. Some people come and like don't even look at the stations; they just lay on the floor and pray, and it's like,
Right.
do your thing, honey, right? And so, yeah, they like mostly move around the space by themselves, and then we hope that they will go and get prayer ministry. So.
Did you design any of the stations, Tia?
I designed the invitation station, and I helped design the current event station.
Okay, great. What was that process like?
It was more work than I thought it was.
I could imagine.
It was a lot more work, but Peter like really helped lead and coordinate all of this. So Peter asked for some help with like putting together the prayer station, and so because of Peter's vision, all of this stuff like got put up. But Latoya, who's one of the women who helped design a lot of these stations, she said this, and it was like really true. She's like, Jesus cares about prayer stations. I was like, yeah, like this is a way that Jesus wants to interact with the people here. So it was convicting in a lot of ways, but also like revealing of things even happening in me. So
Yeah,
Awesome.
great. Yeah. Excellent. Well, should we move this way?
Yeah.
we
Or
definitely
do
can.
another question?
So we're going to move on to the next prayer area. Y'all, remember that as we go, if you have prayer requests, go ahead and put those prayer requests in the comments. Andy's ready to look at them, read them off. We're going to be taking notes so that we can pray for you after this. We're with Tia and Peter, and they are showing us the prayer room. So we're going to continue to the next prayer space.
Peter, do you want to tell them about prayer ministry? And like,
Yeah.
you've been doing this forever.
All right, so we've been doing prayer ministry with Urbana since 1990, so we've been around a while, and this is the kind of the latest version of it. What happens in terms of prayer ministry is up to you. Whatever you need prayer for, you can come and ask, and we'll spend anywhere from 10 to an hour long helping you address some of your issues. There's a great explanation of prayer ministry in the booklet if you want to take a look at it. But anyway, so the idea is after you come out of here, we'll find out if you like who you'd like to pray with, if you have any preferences, and we'll seat you, and you'll wait here a little bit. And this is just a waiting room. There's a devotional for you to do in here, and it's just until the prayer minister is freed up for you to come and receive prayer. And then you go into the prayer ministry room, which is in 131. Can we run over there real quick?
Yeah. So about how many people have you been praying? Have received prayer? in Urbana?
I don't know the exact numbers, but my guess is it's close to 800.
Wow.
Yeah. That's just from our room. Now there are other prayer stations and prayer teams around Urbana that'll pray for you as well. But we're a prayer ministry focused specifically on inner healing prayer. So anyway, so there's some prayer going on in here right now. And so typically there are 100 prayer ministers in this room, so we have plenty of people to pray for you if you want to come and receive prayer. What we'll do is we'll meet you, we'll lead you in, and then we'll actually guide you, introduce you to a prayer minister like Tia. Tia is one of our prayer ministers. And then she'll sit you down and just ask what you'd like prayer for. We'll spend some time listening to the Lord and seeing where to go, and then we'll take you into prayer. It's been amazing, some of the things that God has done this week already.
Yeah. Peter, you mentioned like this inner healing model of prayer. Could you maybe, flesh that out a little bit for our audience of what that looks like?
One of our prayer ministers described it as prayer ministry is about helping you meet Jesus. And so what we want to do is we want to take you into a place where you can bring your problems and your troubles to the Lord directly, rather than just to us. So we're kind of there as a guide. We give you some direction. We help you know the answers to ask, or the questions to ask, and then the Lord gives you the answers. That's the cool thing about prayer ministry. So we see a lot of people hear from God. God speaks deep healing into their hearts and minds, deal with issues, past relationship troubles that they might have. Even we've seen physical healing already this week. A number of people really give their life fully to the Lord, and some deliverance as well. So it's been really neat what God's been doing. Yeah.
All right. Well, are there any stories, anything you want to share, like ways that you've seen God work among students this week?
We need to be careful about what we share, because what happens in here is confidential. But I can tell you that just like I said, what we're seeing is people freed from stuff that's been dragging them down, obstacles removed from people who are trying to figure out what God wants in their lives. So I don't know how specific to get. I don't know, T, if you can think of, but again, we don't. If I share it, I might feel like we're, anyway. So yeah, that and I think I want everybody to know that when you come in here, what you share with us is confidential, and we're not going to share it with other people. Yeah.
Thanks, Peter.
Sure.
I'm curious for you guys, how does this prayer room, there's several of them here, maybe differ or offer something different than the other prayer rooms that students can go to? How does this one differ, would you say?
This is the only prayer room that like people kind of sit down and receive prayer ministry. I don't know much about the other.
Well,
prayer
okay,
rooms.
so you can receive prayer in some of the other programs as well, but we actually have the time and the space and the training. So everybody that's here has been trained in prayer ministry for doing inner healing prayer. They all are experienced as well. And so you can get great prayer in other places, but we have more time to spend with you. And we know some ways to help you deal with some of the deeper inner brokenness that a lot of people face.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, yeah, there's some, I can't say anything bad about the other prayer rooms.
Yeah.
There's worship and prayer, and then there's prayer in the exhibit hall. There's just lots of great places to receive prayer.
They're amazing.
That is great, man. It seems like we know that God is moving in students' life. He's already, talking to them and speaking with them. It sounds like y'all put in a lot of time to make sure y'all come alongside students and pick up where that conversation has left off, so that they can hear from God here at Urbana. So, man, we really appreciate y'all and y'all work and all the care and kind of setup, and it's good, and it sounds like God's been working. So whether you kind of if you're timid, man, come in here. They have put in a lot of effort to make a place comfortable for you, so that they can walk with you to hear Jesus. So thank y'all. I think we're gonna go see another part of the prayer room. But
Good.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, bless you. Thanks.
All right. We ready? So again, I might have hit a post. I hit a post. We're showing you the prayer area here at Urbana 15. And we're going to the next one. So again, if you have any prayer requests, go ahead and shoot those to us. Let us know any prayer requests. We want to pray for you guys at the very end of this. So come on, follow me. We're going into another space.
Hey, Brent. Somebody asked, Kincaid asked, how can Urbana pray for U15? Any real-time prayer requests? Well, maybe we should ask some of those folks.
Okay, yeah, let's go. Let's go
Okay.
see if we can find out somebody wants to pray.
They want to know. Folks watching at home want to know how they can be praying for Urbana.
Okay, awesome. So maybe we'll get some of that right now. Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
We are here.
Yes.
Okay, my friend, name again?
Carrie,
Carrie. So Carrie from
the Mid-Atlantic region from Maryland.
Mid-Atlantic region. And Carrie, I'm gonna let you just tell us all about your prayer room,
Okay.
what it's for, what's been happening. So
Okay.
go ahead, give us a good description of it.
Cool. Well, the Worship and Reflection Room is really like a space that's designed for students to come and just be able to engage with just really enter into the presence of God. So there's not really prayer ministry happening in here, but students can come in here if they want to spend some time alone with God, to spend some time journaling, if they want to dance, if they want to do some artwork. There's art all behind me. There's live worship sometimes during the day, which is really cool. That's a new component to the room. But yeah, this is just supposed to be a space that we've cultivated for students to to really just enter into the presence of God. It's a very quiet space. We ask that students really respect that when they're in here. And it's been really awesome so far to be in this room.
Okay. Now I see you said live, so I see something set up over there. You got a keyboard. So y'all have people that come in here.
Well, actually,
do some live work, or do you do it?
Yeah, actually, our team. So there's I think 9 or 10 of us, maybe 11 of us on the team, and that are staffing this room. And usually about 3 or 4 of us will lead worship for about an hour in the afternoon. So it's been really cool. That's something that the directors of the room changed this year. So.
Okay. Quick detail. What is the time for the prayer room?
What are the times? 1 to 6:30.
All right. Now, what are some, do you have any things that you've seen come up, or a student has shared with you that there's been people outside of Urbana, so folk at home who want to know, man, what can we be praying for? So are there any things that you've seen come up or students say about just prayer requests here?
Well, so we have a guest book that people can sign to kind of recount their experiences. I haven't spent a whole lot of time reading it, but a lot of students have seemed to be expressing just the joy that they have to be able to have a space where they can take time to reflect on what God's doing here. There was a girl today who one of her things in her journal that she wrote in the journal was that she just wouldn't be able to. The space in the journal isn't enough to like write what God has been doing in her life, and for her time in this room was just really impactful. So that was really cool.
That's awesome. All right, now I gotta ask you one last question about just what's going on around this room.
Yeah.
So how is this space being used?
So the 2 pieces over there, actually, as a staff team, we created before students came. The prayer ministry team has been reflecting on the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, that whole psalm. So we made that piece at the beginning, and then we made the cross just so that students could see that was in here. And then on these boards back here, we have all these art supplies out for students, and so students can respond to the music that they're hearing. More often than not, it's just like worship music that's playing over the speakers. And or they can respond to what they've been hearing in the plenary sessions, or what they've been hearing from the different speakers, or just what God's been saying in general. And it's been really cool. I mean, we started with all these boards were blank, and now we have a lot of different artwork. And I think students are really enjoying a space to be creative and to really engage with God in that way.
These pieces are beautiful.
Yeah, they're really awesome. I don't know if you can like get a closer view, but they're really, really pretty.
So it looks like the folks can come in, get some musical worship space to kind of move around, but then also some tactile type worship where they can like make art.
Yeah, and obviously, like, you guys are in here when we're empty, but I mean, throughout the day, yesterday we had like 650 people come through, and today we had 700 plus come through the room. So at any time, I mean, literally the whole floor is just covered.
I was in here earlier, and there was barely a walkway.
Yeah, no, it's been really cool, and
out.
People will be dancing or journaling or, on their knees or with their hands raised, and it's been really neat to just be able to be in this room worshiping alongside of students, and just seeing how God is at work in them, and just them being kind of really open to what he's doing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, man, it looks like Carrie and the staff have put a lot of work into just making this a place where you can come and worship. So you dancers, you runners, you artists, you spoken word artists, you poets, you journalists, just come in here and you can find a space to worship. So thank you, Carrie.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you to the staff in the back. Thank you. You ran as far away from the camera as you did.
And hey, to John Tutel, who tweeted at us, why don't you tweet us at Urbana Missions? And maybe someone might want to chat with you privately. John Toothill. So we're Urbana Missions. Send us a tweet. And if you're here at Urbana, you need to come to prayer ministry.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Cool. So I don't know if we got any prayer requests, but can we just kind of say a general prayer for the participants?
Yeah, let's
You
do that.
want to lead us in a general
Sure.
prayer? Can you just say a prayer for the participants? I know we're going to be having a prayer night for the church.
Just for the general session?
So the general session, and maybe even some of the audience that's going to be watching over live.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of our viewers, John Toothill, he just said that he needs to find God, and so we should pray for him.
Yeah. Jesus, thank you so much that you have brought all of these people here to Urbana, that you've brought students and staff to this place. God, I pray over the session tonight. There are going to be some really powerful things that are going to be talked about. And God, I pray that you would be with students as they're processing that you would help students really to enter into the topics that are going to come up tonight. And that students would really just have an open heart and an open mind, and open ears to hear from you and what you're doing in their hearts and in their minds. God, I pray that you would break down walls and barriers and really help students engage and not withdraw from what it is that you're going to be speaking to them tonight. God, and I pray for those that don't know you, that you would make yourself known to them, and that you would, that you would really enter into their hearts and enter into their minds, and transform their lives, because that's what you do. God, and thank you to the people who have been tuning in that aren't here, and I just ask that you would be using the messages that are being spoken at Urbana to influence them too. God, thanks for this place and for this conference and for the boldness that people have had from speaking up front. Thanks that we're willing to engage with these tough things. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Carrie, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, Urbana 15 audience, we know that there's a lot of stories that's coming in to this conference. A lot of people, they're bringing so many stories that's coming together, and the speakers are bringing stories. But we know, and the varsity knows, that the best story, the most significant voice, the most significant author in that story is Jesus. And we provided spaces like these prayer rooms, like this worship space, like the inner healing prayer space, so that you can hear his voice and allow him to write some significant words into your story. So that is our pre-game show, and it's right around that time for the main session to get started. So until next time, make sure you tell people to download Periscope so they can have access to this. Go watch. Well, you know what? It's a blackout. So it's a blackout for this main session, so you won't be able to see it because all wireless devices and everything will not be allowed. So enjoy some rest, I guess, and maybe we'll debrief a little bit of what God does tomorrow morning. All right, thanks for tuning in, y'all, and we'll see you next time.